As long as you don't have kids, your life is like your 20s, but with money. Hey everyone, welcome back to Lives on Reddit. Don't forget to subscribe to be a for lifer. Family as a teen. High school were the best years of my life. Family during college years. College is the last hurrah before the real world hits you. Family when I went to Paris for 2 weeks last year. Wow, does this mean your significant other's proposing? Why else go to Paris? Family as I'm in my late 20s, traveling every few weeks for fun with my significant other and no plans of marriage. When are you going to settle down? This is going to get old eventually, and how can you even afford to do all these things? Also family. I can't wait to retire at 65 so I can finally visit Paris. Also, I was dead broke in my early 20s, and my family treated me like a poster child for being a loser, because working retail and putting yourself through college made me a loser when they were all married by 25. My husband and I took a long time to get established. Our mid to late 20s, just after we got married, sucked. We were both working part-time and we were poor. We both have disabilities. He just got a full-time job last July working from home. He's 33 and I'm 31. It's not great money, but we live in a low cost of living area, so we are comfortable. I work part-time and my wages aren't great, but not minimum wage either. All of my money goes into savings for emergencies, travel, etc. I can't imagine the stress of having most or all of my paycheck go to daycare. Now that we finally made it, the last thing we want is a kid and to struggle to make ends meet yet again. No thank you. Congrats on thinking ahead and making responsible decisions. You are officially ahead of 95% of the population. I seriously can't understand the people who just assume it'll work out. Also, 33 and 31 is not a long time. That's still plenty early. I'm in my mid-20s and can't see myself ever having money. I love my job and I'm better off than my peers, but my peers are stuck in a high cost of living area like me, working close to minimum wage. I like to go to school, but everything I've been interested in has barriers that would be impossible with my health issues, or wouldn't even pay much more than I'm already making, or stands a huge chance of being replaced by automation within 5 years of me graduating. I 100% agree that having kids would be horrifically worse, and I'm thankful for that. But it's always spoken like fact in the sub that having no kids means you're rolling in wealth or even comfortable, and I'm sure I'm not just speaking for myself when I say it can make some of us feel a little stupid or like failures in some way. Not even sure what my point is, but I don't think there's anything wrong with posts like this. But if you're reading this and you're struggling, don't feel too bad. Statistically, most people, child-free or not, are likely struggling, at least in America. I went through a period where I felt like I was completely failing at life when compared to other people my age. But after a while and some therapy, I resolved myself to the idea that everyone is just on a different path. I'm 25 and now going back to college to finish my degree. I dropped out at 21 due to money. Most people my age are already done and starting life, which sometimes make me feel crummy. But I end up telling myself that maybe they just had more opportunities and resources. Maybe they weren't lazy in high school like I was. They were able to make it work in ways I couldn't until now, and that's fine. After all, I'm child-free. I have my whole life to figure things out and do whatever I want. In fact, I'm able to do what I'm doing because I have no kids to worry about. It's true that some here are wealthy, but many are also average. Maybe it's just that us average just don't speak up as often. After all, speaking for myself, I don't have a lot to say most of the time. I just focus on me and my life and don't have much exciting going on. It's not even about the money really, just the freedom. I settled into a career I love, but my husband has never been a career man. He's taught martial arts, cleaned aquariums, coached businesses, and he's going to IDC to become a scuba instructor. Then he's getting his 6-pack captain's license and wants to sell scuba or snorkel and snail packages. Even with neither of us making a ton, maybe $70,000 combined, we still paid off the house, cars, and all debt. My husband doesn't need to slave away being unhappy because it's just us. We could both be working minimum wage and still get by, so life becomes much less stressful. A A few of my aunts gathered together asked me about my upcoming trip to London last spring. My Aunt B was insanely jealous. It was so obvious. My mother commented on it after she laughed, and we had a good laugh. My aunt always bragged about her 7 kids. Why be so jealous if you're so happy with your huge family? Oh yes, because she and my uncle are well past retirement age and still busting their behinds, bought a house way out of their means, and had a huge brood of kids. I don't know, you do the math. The odds aren't in your favor when you do all that crap. She had like 5 or 6 freaking kids by the time she was my age. The only thing I take away from that is now that I have a little money and know who I am, I know who I am. And my tolerance for doing things I don't want to do is just about non-existent. I'm not the kind of person willing to give up a weekend doing some cutesy crap to impress a girl, especially since most of them around here have kids. On the other side of that coin, the idea of going out to the bars isn't appealing most days either. The other downside I'm finding is when I was in my 20s, my buddies and I always talked about traveling together, from a week at the lake to fishing trips to Alaska to taking a break from the cold northern winters to hunt down south. I've got garages full of toys, money in the bank, and a huge amount of vacation time each year. Meanwhile, the boys are still living the frugal lifestyle. Their vacation time gets used for things like Disneyland and family camping trips, most of which they can only half enjoy because they can't stop thinking about all the money they're spending. This is probably silly, but now I'm getting used to the idea that I don't have to follow the life script. I actually look forward to my future. Before, I kind of figured I'd off myself before I got too far, or it was just a hazy idea of, well, I'm supposed to do this. Admittedly, part of the whole not following the life script was admitting to myself that I'm gay, so I'm able to picture a happy life with a cute girlfriend instead of a hazy idea of a hypothetical guy I'm supposed to marry someday. But also, like, the whole kids thing makes it feel like there's a lot more deadlines and that you have to get everything you can out of life early, because then the rest of your life will be spent caring for the kids and working and being stressed about money. It's so freeing realizing you don't have to follow the life script. You control your destiny and can live in a way that makes you happy. That's still so amazing to me. I'm 23 and burnt out of my crappy pizza job. Close to getting my first professional one that would pay 3 to 4 times as much as I make now. If that quote is true, my bod is ready. Holy frick. I'm 24 and recently started in the cafeteria at a giant hospital group that pays significantly more than my job as a cook. They'll pay for my education if I want to use it to move anywhere else. And because of my grind and cooking resume, I might be supervisor this time next year. This job pays well enough that when my lease ends next spring, I might be able to fudge that roommate-free life. A downside of getting into my late 30s was that I got burnt out from working full-time and had to cut back. Being child-free made that very doable, eventually leading to my retiring at 45, 11 years ago. Being child-free in my 30s made it tough to date because nearly all women in my age group either had kids or wanted to have kids. In my 20s, the women were more interested in having fun, so the issue of kids didn't arise. I'm turning 34 on Sunday, and I couldn't agree more. I'm in Texas, surrounded by nuns and baby mamas. I'm unmarried, with a boyfriend of 6 years, and child-free in South Carolina. I just moved here a few months ago, and have already met more mothers younger than me than I thought possible. And I swear, every time someone hears that I'm not married yet, they have a small heart attack. Those Southern stereotypes really shine here. I'm 30. I got a new job a few months ago that came with a substantial raise. I also paid off my student loans and my car loan the same month. I have like $100 in monthly expenses now. I'm dragging my feet on buying a new motorcycle, and my wife is basically like, go buy it already, nothing is stopping you, and you have the money. It's a pretty freaking awesome problem to have. Doesn't it suck that we are raised with this guilt of spending our own hard-earned money? The first thing I did with my money was buy a car from the dealer, and felt like I didn't deserve it. About a year later, I accepted that I worked for that money, and that's what money is for. Whoa, 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 whoa. Don't leave. Subscribe. Be a for lifer. Yeah.